What is up, my sports community and all my sports lovers all around the world? We are back with Try These Picks over here, and it's your boy Chamoney, and of course my great partner Damon TTP on the line. And wow, do we have some matchups for you this week? Quite astounding here in week 14, and we are done with the bye weeks this week. We are looking at a more established teams, more established players at this point in the season. Although it's been a great season, let's kick it off with the Texans versus the Chicago Bears. And this week, you know who I'm kind of feeling out, and I might dip the pool in. David Montgomery. He's a pretty cheap pick this week on DK. I think 6,500. I like him with Trubisky in the offense. Allen Robinson looking good in the game. He's 6,500 and 7K for him. And it's like you almost have to play him this week. Blatantly, the Houston's defense is just not good.
Bad.
Right?
I think the Houston defense bad, but this one, I'm going Texans.
Yeah.
I'm going Texans because the Bears seem to always find a way to lose, and those Texans with Watson, he seems to find ways to win. So I'm going to go Texans, but I mean, I wouldn't put the whole bank on this one.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because on the Texans side of the ball, yes, the players though I'm looking for are going to be on the Chicago side of the ball, but I will agree with you. I think the Texans are going to pull this one out at the end, because that Deshaun Watson, he can get nasty. Now he's looking at Deshaun Watson 7,600 on DK, 8K on FanDuel. It seems Chicago might be worn down from all the losing, and we may see Deshaun put up a little something here. What do you think?
I like it. I'm going Texans.
I think there's some maybe better QBs, maybe a little cheaper, but definitely keep an eye on Deshaun.
Well, you never really want to take a QB versus a really good defense.
Right. Correct. And that's what we do over here. Try this pick. That's what we do, right? We let them know. So, what do you say? Try this pick of the week. We're going Texans on this game.
Oh, I'm definitely going Texans. But I'm not going to pay for Watson. Although I think Watson will be the factor why they're going to win. But I mean, I can't put the money on it. You know, the Bears have a great defense.
Yeah,
I don't know if their heart's there, but they still have the personnel.
And we got Texans with the -2 if you do want to. So they are the favorite, and they got the -2 on the point spread. So next game we got Dallas versus Cincinnati, with Dallas coming in at a 3.5 point favorite. But can we just say atrocious. Talk about giving up and losing motivation mid-season. I think the Bengals lost motivation last season, and they're in this kind of COVID type of mood, if you will. But what can you expect? I don't recommend really any players from either of these teams this week. I mean, maybe the one thing we can look at is the Dallas defense. They have the 4th highest rush rate. But let's be real, for the first time in 14 years, Damon, for the first time in 14 years, they got flexed out of a national televised game. And the last 2 Thanksgivings in a row they've lost.
Well, that might not be their fault. It also could be that the Bengals haven't made playoffs in 30 years. So, I mean, there's really not much to watch here. But I'll tell you what. With all that being said, I'm going to go with the Bengals.
With all that being said, this might be a random swing.
And the stars aren't even. The Bengals don't even have the stars playing. But you know what? These Cowboys, they're a mess. That's all they can do is rush the quarterback. And the Bengals have no O-line, so you're definitely looking for a good game if you want some entertainment, especially with nothing at stake. But I mean, I can see the Cowboys. I mean, Zeke's due for at least 1 or 2 fumbles. I mean,
what happened to this team, Damon? And you know what's fun? You know what's funny too is how quiet Jerry Jones gets when the Cowboys are not doing well.
Well, I actually have Jerry Jones as the star player of that team, and obviously he doesn't play football. So, but no, going back to that team, you want to know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. If you go back on my videos and you check what happened, I said it. I said last year, every time and the year before that, there was an O-lineman out. I mean, one O-lineman out of their dream O-line, because they really had the best O-line by far. They probably had the best O-line in decades. But as soon as one guy was out, the team had a meltdown. Like, the O-linemen were beasts, but they were, like, literally, like, able to beast mode, and that's what it making Zeke look good.
Yeah.
Making Dak look good.
Yep,
I mean, listen, now that, obviously they had some retirements, they had some, whatever. Obviously, they didn't have the O-line this year. Going into this year, when I heard they didn't have the O-line, I said meltdown. Meltdown for two reasons. Because they didn't win last year when they were missing one guy.
They completely imploded, right? Dude. Okay, so who's...
I mean, look, let me just finish it with this. If you give me the quarterback, if you let me quarterback that team, and you give me the old O-line, I'll probably do just as good as Dak. Maybe not, but I don't think he's that good. And if you want to know what I think about Zeke, listen, Zeke, is he really a beast? I mean, he got drafted into that O-line, and Jerry Jones, he can sell ice to Eskimos. Come on, he cashed you guys up.
He got drafted into that O-line. I love it. So we have Dallas with the -3.5 favor. Who do you got with try this pick of the week on this game, Dave?
Oh, I'm going Bengals, even though Cowboys are favored. But I'm going Bengals.
Wow, he's going with the upset of the atrocious Bengals. Okay, I can dig it.
I'm ready for an upset week.
Let's go.
Wait. I'm going against everybody right there. This week, listen, when I picked Henry 2 weeks ago, parlaying that money into wild stuff. I parlayed it into the Giants last week, and look, I'm on fire.
Like, you are on fire.
I might as well stay wild.
Yep, you might as well, and keep that New York Heat here for just a second for when we bring the game up, because we'll talk about that. But next game we got on the lineup here, Chiefs versus the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is kind of a weird one because you expect Kansas to be a higher point favorite, which is it's kind of up there, but the Kansas is 7.5, but again, you'd expect that to maybe be a little higher, but we are literally talking MVP versus Matua. Is that how you say his name? Matua? 81 and 89K for Mahomes. And we got to give respect, of course, always to Tyreek Hill. And the Tyreek Hill Mahomes wheel, I would not count them out. You're looking at 85 and 9K for Tyreek combined. It's almost 18K for both players, but I mean, we see Tyreek putting up buku points, man. Buku points.
Let me sum it up. I can make it real sweet for you. Kansas City's going to win because they are like the comeback kings. But I'll tell you what, take a look at their last 4 games. They're not beating people by more than 3. They're barely beating you. Like, they have some, I don't know what glitch card they have. I don't know if they have a switch. I don't know what they do.
Somebody's controlling them. They're being played like Madden, bro.
Listen, they are the justification for why Madden has those wild swings, because when they're down, you give these guys the ball in the last 2 minutes. They have the best 2-minute drill I've ever seen in 50 years of football. There's nobody that runs a 2-minute drill like these guys. But look, they're not blowing people out anymore.
That's true.
So I think people,
you know why? People are starting to figure them out. That's it. Yeah.
Right. And I'll say one more thing. These Dolphins, rookie quarterback, they got something to prove. I mean, they're a really good team, first off, but they're going into this game with enthusiasm, excitement. Like, they want to play the Super Bowl champs. They're young. They want to make their mark. They want to show the fans what's coming this year, what's coming next year, what's coming, the future of the franchise. So I think for the Dolphins, a win would be tremendous.
Yeah.
I still have to pick the Chiefs because it's just, if you don't pick the Chiefs, you're making a mistake. But I'll tell you what, I'm not giving the points. I'm picking the Dolphins with the points and the Chiefs for the win.
Dang, Dolphins for the points, Chiefs for the win, and you're only going to get that exclusive over here at Try These Picks. So make sure you hit all those socials medias if you can and check us out online. Okay, now you can bring out that New York Heat, and forgive me. You know we missed a week, but if you guys stuck around and you would have seen our plays, we have New York. Our next game we have is New York Giants First, the Birds in the Heat, the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I know you're going to give me hell, Damon, okay, for missing last week, and I don't want to reopen a freshly cut wound, but go ahead, let them know we effed up because we went 5 for 5 last week, didn't we?
Last week, we picked the Giants, and I mean, it was a really wild shot. It was based more on the Seahawks and everybody that did get the information from us, because the only ones that got it were the ones that were able to pay and buy the picks, and they were like, oh my God, like, this is amazing. And now I know I'm getting a lot of messages. I've been reading the messages about this week.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go into this game, it looks so bad for the Cardinals. I mean, especially with everything going on. But I'll tell you what, these Giants, they looked good last week, but lightning doesn't strike twice.
Maybe. Okay, so Kyler Murray and company maybe slumping in this game. But hey, your New York Giants D, they're playing better. But for, I believe it's 5,700, 6K. Wayne Gallman, that's maybe a go. They took him out of the game last week because he was so tired of scoring touchdowns. And with that price, I think he's maybe a go. But at the end of the day, who are we seeing coming out on top this week? This is a tough. I'm not gonna lie. This is a tough pick this week.
No, this is a really, really hard one to pick. But I mean, like, I'm gonna go Cardinals. I gotta go Cardinals on this one.
So he's picking the Dirty Birds in the sand. We're going try this pick of the week on this game, the Cardinals. And the Cardinals are, make sure I get the right point spread here. Where's that game at? Cardinals are looking... Jeez, okay, -3. So Cardinals are favored in this game. Let's move on to the next game here, Dame. We got Vikings at Bucks. Tampa Bay, let's be real, the GOAT.
I think this one, to sum it up, I think the Vikings are playing great ball, so I wouldn't count them out. But in my heart, I think Tom Brady is still the GOAT. And I know he's been playing bad, but I think at the end of the day, he's probably got this season, maybe next season. Him, he might squeak a third. But I think he's looking for stats. I think he's going into this game thinking he has to win it, not even a question. And I think, look, I'm definitely taking the Bucks.
So,
defense, I'm going Bucks.
Look,
but the Vikings are a good team. I don't want to count them out.
Look, You can go Bucks, but I'm going to say I'm in on Kirk Cousins. I'm in on Kirk Cousins, on Jefferson, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen. He's only 7,500, 62 on DK. The one thing you can do on Vikings is throw on this team. Now, don't get me wrong, Dalvin Cook can run here, but with a 10K price tag, that's way too expensive. Cousins has been good at home, but terrible on the road. I'm going out on a limb here and say Cousins breaks the road strife, and he balls out on this game. So Jefferson could possibly be in the mix for Rookie of the Year, but like I said, this team can throw that pigskin around, and the Vikings D is looking good. And the only reason I'm saying this stuff is because we haven't quite seen the Tom Brady as we've seen at the Tom Brady in the past, right? I think like Evans is going to be in the mix this week, and Tampa's D is definitely playing a little better. But let me make sure I get the right. We got Tampa Bay favored by 6.5. So I'm not comfortable with them covering the spread. But as I said, Kirk Cousins had strife on the road, so he might flop this one. What do you think, Dave?
No, I'm giving it to Tom, man. I think Tom's, he's a veteran, he's a GOAT, and he's a game manager. I don't think it'll take that much for him to win this. So I'm giving it to him, and I do believe, I have this in my heart, that he does play for stats. Not necessarily like that, like game stats or year stats, but I think for lifetime.
Longevity, lifetime.
I think he's trying to set some of these goals, some of these records that he has. I think he's trying to set them so high that it's not even humanly possible for someone to get them. Like, I think that was part of his decision going to the Bucs. I think he just wants to, set the goal so high that unless a guy comes in, starts as a rookie, and stays healthy till he's in his 40s, could he even get those stats? That's my thing.
That is amazing, and that is, well, I'll give Tom that. What is it? What's his little program? The TB12? The TB12?
Yeah.
The TB12 program? Whatever,
Yeah, like
whatever he's putting in those
whatever
he's putting in those protein shakes, bro, they're working. So,
all right.
try this pick of the week on this game. You're going Bucks.
Yes.
We'll go Bucks, not covering the spread because that's pretty big. Next game we got here, we got Denver at Panthers with Panthers minus 2.5 favorite. Teddy Bridgewater, 58.7K on FanDuel and DraftKings. Christian McCaffrey is still supposedly dealing with like a thigh thing, but for 10K and 9,800, that's really pricey for a thigh thing going on. And we have more out. We have Curtis Samuel possibly out with this COVID nonsense. Robbie Anderson is an intriguing pick this week because, well, he might be the only one left this week. So he's definitely going to get some play time. Who else we got? We got Tim Patrick at 4,200 on DK. We can try our best to look for a good wide receiver 3. That's a real sneaky pick. And for 4,200, that's probably not a too bad of a pick. What do you think, Damon? Who you got on this game, man?
Well, I mean, this one's really a hard one. This is a really hard game, but I don't know. I just can't see Denver calling it out. So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I'm not personally betting this one, but I mean, I'm good. I guess I'm gonna go with Carolina.
He's going Carolina minus the 2.5. Send it.
Yeah, literally.
All right, what do we got? We got Titans. We got Titans at Jacksonville, and we got Titans favored at minus 7.5. You know who we like. Good old James Robinson every single week, just giving it to us every week. So he's maybe a great solid pick this week. He's 7,500, 8K. Maybe gone up a little bit in the last couple weeks, but that's not a big problem. Who else we have? I like Colin Johnson as a sleeper wide receiver pick this game. Two great games and only 3,600 that week. That's right. We're over here at Try These Picks. We're trying to get you those good sleeper picks, those third wide receivers, so you guys can put it together. And it's a nice cheap option. He's getting a lot of goal line looks, and of course we have to mention Derrick the King Henry, right?
Of course. I was waiting when you kept naming people. I was waiting. Look, I think Titans all the way. I think Henry I think he's gonna put up the stats. I mean, look, he's in the time of the year when he starts getting warm. I think he just puts up the stats.
The colder, you were saying it a couple weeks ago, the colder it gets, the hotter King Henry gets, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. This is when he comes into stride. I really think, I mean, this is it. I think this game right here, I don't see any way they could lose. I think they need this game. They're just going to plow through people.
Let's not leave.
I still think that they're still a Super Bowl team in my eyes. I think they're a real deal.
Yeah, well, and they were looking good in the playoffs last year, man. They did. It's a different time for the Titans, that's for sure. As soon as they got rid of what's his face from the Oregon Ducks, they got rid of him and Tannehill. So and they brought in Tannehill, and he's been working. Let's not leave Tannehill out of the mix. He's a little cheap on FanDuel at 67 and 79 on DK. This will be an interesting game stack, though. Who you got this week? You going Titans?
Yeah, Titans. I got Titans to win it, and I got Titans to make a good run deep into the playoffs, if not go all the way. I like the Titans. I really like them. They're not flashy. They're just not. They're just boring football. But if you actually play football, you know where it's won in the trenches. And I think having Henry.
It's all about. It's always been about, and it always has. We know that the passing game's fun, makes it flashy. but it's all about pounding that rock, right, Damon?
Right. I think the tandem on offense they have is amazing because you thought that their quarterback was a bum when he was over there at Miami.
Yeah.
But then you find out that he really can throw it, especially when Henry's got the team so stressed out. So they're worried so much to stop Henry. He looks like a star. His play action is great.
And when you're feeding the ball to him like that, and he's going to get an average of like 2 yards a game, it definitely opens up the receiving game.
Yes. So that's where I'm going. Going Titans.
So Titans, we got Titans with the -7.5. Let's go Colts at Las Vegas Raiders. All right. Carr and Waller coming off huge games last week. I'm not a fan of the Raiders, you know this, in this game, but on the Indy side, I may be sold a little bit here. We got T.Y. Hilton at 51 and 6K on FanDuel. I like T.Y. with what's going on in Vegas. There's some injuries in the secondary, so we know when Rivers is on, he can get a good connection with T.Y. And I'm feeling Hilton in this game. It's a little bit of a musical chairs with the running backs on Indy, but I like Jonathan Taylor. He finally got the lion of share of snaps, and he may be someone to take account this week. What do you think of Damon?
I think the O-line is tremendous, and I think that a veteran quarterback, and I think that T.Y. is a deal. I think the Colts are going to win this game. I think they're going to sit behind that O-line, control the game, and that really sums the whole thing up right there. I don't think the Raiders would need like big plays. They don't have that big play power. Like how are they going to score? Like, what are their tips to score? How could they score? Like yeah, I just don't see. I'm not seeing. Raiders.
Their strongest weapon is Carr, and that's not saying a lot. Right?
Correct.
Okay. So on that game, you went Colts, take the 3?
Colts take 3, yep.
Okay. Next game on the lineup, we have Jets at Seattle. Let's look at Wilson to Metcalf connection in this game.
Can we do back-to-back New York wins? Well, honestly, that can't happen because that would be a meltdown. That would be a complete Seattle meltdown. They'd have to hang it up. But I have to go. Seattle's going to win, but I'm going to go with the points the other direction because Seattle is not going to put up that many points. They are not playing good.
That's a big one. Yeah, this might be actually a great one to take the upset with the coverage because we got New York at +13.5. And I don't know if Seattle can cover that. That's a big cover.
Yeah, that's the one. I'm really gonna take that as almost a lock because I mean Seattle's playing horrible. I'm not saying that New York's good. Like let's not get crazy. But I mean, like when you're playing that bad and then you're supposed to come in and blow someone out, like I don't know. I mean, it might be a rebuilding week. They got to rethink over what happened last week.
Yeah, that's what we like to call that's what we like to call a Swifty pick. A couple player prices here. We got T.Y. Johnson only 4,700 on DK. That could be a good flex position, maybe another sleeper. Rashad Perriman for cheap. Dart throw for 3,900 on DK. That's super cheap. Now Seattle is ranked dead last in passing yards per game, so we need to take that into the count. And so I'm hearing New York Jets upset this week.
I think Seattle will win, but I'll take the points the other way. So,
Okay. So we're gonna take.
I might even bet both.
We're not gonna go as far to say the upset, but we'll take the points.
Yeah, lock. The points.
Points are a lock over here. Try this pick. Let's go.
I love it. I love the points. I feel like, listen, I know you want an upset so bad, but if you get beat by the Giants, New York Giants, and you get beat by the New York Jets, I mean, after that, what are we going to do? Bring out the Mets? Because I don't know who Seattle could beat. So I just can't see that happening.
Jose Canseco. Okay.
Yeah. It's over. Let's just end it right there. It's over. But, all right, let's move on. Tell me what you got.
Let me see what you got. What we got on the next game, we have New Orleans Saints at Philadelphia. We got we got Michael Thomas, 7,100, 73. Taysom Hill controls his own destiny. You know, it's hit or miss with him. I don't think some people will play him this week, so I'm kind of iffy about that, and I'm staying away from the Eagles players on the offense this week. It seems Carson hasn't been able to put anything together. I mean, he got benched. Jalen Hurts is 5,100 on DK, and I do think some people are going to play him this week, but what's weird is we are seeing kind of like Carson Wentz play the same role as like a Taysom Hill, but I just don't think it's working out over there. What are you thinking, Damon? Who do you got on this game? New Orleans Saints are the favorite with the minus
I got
7.
Listen, I got Saints to win. I'm not going to go with the points though, and it's where it is. And I do think you well, listen, I don't want to tell you to put Taysom Hill in your lineup, but I would slip him in a couple of lineups because, you know, he has bad weeks and he has good ones, but I think nobody's picking him. I think he's like, people count him out now, but he really has a lot of potential. I mean, to me, like, listen, right now, Hill or Lamar Jackson, I mean, what's the difference? Come on.
And if you like, you tend to see when we start to count those players out, they'll have one of those weeks where they just ball out, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're going with Saints on this game, straight up win, not to cover the 7. Let's move on. We have Atlanta at the Chargers. Matt Ryan is just 5,700. Jeez, that's a discount. But he has been bad for the last 2 weeks. How about them Chargers? Can we throw them in the same mix as the Bengals and the Cowboys, bro?
Let's just here's the advice. Don't even bet this game. Flip the quarter if you want to bet on something, because this is like the Bum Bowl. I mean, listen,
the Bum Bowl, yes.
If you want to pick a team, I'll pick the Chargers. But I mean, man, that's wild when you're picking the Chargers, because Atlanta's been just really mucking the water up. But I mean, I don't know. This is all about like a lucky fumble, and that's it. You can't even cover the point. This game can go completely wrong direction. This is one of those games you wake up in the morning and you're like, wow, they beat them by 14 points. I thought they were going to lose. Like, who knew? So
Atlanta's coming in here with the favorite at 1.5. If you're looking at any players in this game, because Falcons are so terrible at tackling in the secondary, $7K, 7,500 for Eckler. Him and James Robinsons are 2 value running backs on the board this week, but again, these teams are atrocious. You want to maybe take a shot with the Julio Jones. I won't be mad at you. You want to maybe take a shot with the Calvin Ridley. We've seen him have good games, but I'm running away. I'm running away from the running backs besides Eckler on this game. And like you said, this is almost a coin flip on who's gonna take this one, right?
Correct.
Who are we picking at the end of the day?
It's like, I don't know. I guess you got to go Chargers, because Atlanta might, take a knee before the end zone.
Hey, don't sound too confident in that one, man.
I mean, I'm not taking anybody. I'm not putting any money on it. So I mean, if you just feel like you have to take someone, take someone.
I love the honesty, Damon. That's why you mess with us over here at Try These Picks. Last game on the slate, Washington at San Fran. Now, this is what I'm liking in this game. 2,800 for that Washington D, excuse me. And boy, oh boy, is that cheap. I think this D is going to get after it this week. The Washington football team's defensive line is by far the strength of the entire team. Yes, and they're just getting cranked up, man. We're seeing.
I am loving Washington. I'm loving Washington. Now look, I mean, they took the undefeated, maybe Super Bowl champs Steelers. They took them out. So I mean, these guys are coming off high. I'm gonna tell you win something like that, you're like on crack.
You are, man. You're hyped up. We're seeing some of these dudes like Mutombo and just blocking passes left and right. Mutombo, I'm going to sack the quarterback. But Washington's D should definitely have a good game. If we're looking at San Francisco, if we're looking at players to invest, there's maybe 2 pieces I'm keeping an eye on. Brandon Ayuk, he's 28.6% pass rate since he's come back, and J.D. McKissick, 4,900 on DK. Not bad to take a look. But yeah, I'm on Washington this week, and boy oh boy, I think they're gonna come hot.
Yes, I totally agree.
So try this pick for the last game of this week. We're taking, and surprisingly, they are not favored in this game. So we're taking Washington for the upset. Give them the points, 3.5. I think they got it.
I'm loving it.
And that sums up week 14 with Try This Pick. It is your boy Chamoney and my partner Damon TTP, and we appreciate you all tuning in. We're trying to bring you the best and freshest content and picks every single week. You got anything to let them know, Damon?
No, just how much I appreciate everyone, and I wish everyone the best. And just know that we're right there beside you the whole way.
Let's go. We expect to see some comments next week with some winning tickets. All right? Let's go. All right, y'all. Have a great one. We'll see you next week.